Hey, did you see the drama between the Dawah community, or as Susanna calls it, Dawah drama, over the
That
over
needs to be
the
like a segment on someone's channel because
yes,
there's like spill the tea like on the Dawah
yeah,
drama.
over the trans hijabi that Muhammad Hijab had
That was my
on.
follow-up question. Did you see the trans hijabi asking Muhammad Hijab if he has taken a cucumber to his prostate?
Really?
She's a legend. This girl's 17 and she's a legend.
Wait, how did he respond?
He was just like no.
That is awesome. I should look into that. I didn't really check.
I still need to watch the whole interview, and then the Smiles to Jannah guy and Ali Dawah were doing a reaction video on her. I don't know her name, and they were talking about how she's gonna cause fitna in them, and I'm like, bro, she's 17.
Oh my god, yeah.
I'm gonna have to download this before Muhammad Hijab takes it down, because a lot of people are like getting him a lot of crap for having this video.
Oh yeah,
so somebody go and like go on Muhammad Hijab's channel and down, because he's getting a lot of backlash for having a trans hijabi on his channel.
Well, the thing is, I saw it earlier today that he did that, and I made a short tweet about it. How I find it good that he actually had her on.
I agree,
because I didn't expect that at all from him. But the thing is, apparently he backpedaled very quickly during the day. He called her a kafir, although he referred to her during the conversation as a Muslim, and things like that. I don't know. He's kind of giving into the thing, I guess, to the reactions. And the thing is, Muhammad Hijab is a severely unstable person. You know, he's not only a little bit dumb, but he's also mentally unstable, and he can quickly switch from one position to another. You know, he can be totally in agreement with you and kind in one moment, and 5 minutes later he suddenly hates you, and that's how he is. So I didn't really trust that he would go through with being cordial to her.
Of course not. Which is
doesn't trans hijabi sound pretty awesome though? I don't yeah, the trans hijabi.
Yeah, it's good branding. It's really good branding.
It's just like
yeah.
But didn't they just like takfir her?
Yeah.
So isn't that like a Kharijite thing to do?
Well, I believe Ibn Taymiyyah himself also talked lengthily about how it is necessary to takfir certain people and groups and to fight them. I think that is a thing, and there is also if you tell somebody that they have publicly committed an act of kufr, of blasphemy, of denial in Islam, such as rejecting a Quran verse, for example, and you have told this person about it, and the person has not changed their mind and has insisted on doing that, then you can call that person a kafir. That is, I think, the classical opinion on calling people kafir. So in that regard, he's acting quite in agreement with the classical Islamic position, as far as I understand it.
But I don't know. I always my understanding is that as long as you believe in Muhammad and Allah and the Quran as direct word, you're a Muslim. You could just be a very, very bad Muslim that is sinning a lot, but you're still technically a Muslim.
Well, I learned, for example, that I read this book when I was a Muslim. Where did Susanna go? Oh, I read a book when I was a Muslim, which was basically a whole book about everything that makes someone a kafir, and it was like, divided by chapters and sub-chapters, whole lectures on if a person does this, if a person does that, if a person does that, and you can publicly declare that that person is a kafir. It is also known that the Salafis frequently label certain groups of Muslim people as either munafiq, as hypocrites who don't deserve to be called Muslims, or outright as kafirs for practices like,
but there's no hadith that says that they, like, there are hadiths and there's Quranic verses that says that these people exist, but there's no hadith or Quranic verse that tells you that you have the authority to determine who's a Muslim or who's not a Muslim.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, like Hossein is saying, there's a Sahih hadith that says kick them out of your house. Yes, you can kick them out of your house for being bad Muslims, but there's no hadith or there's no Quranic verse that lets you as a Muslim decide that they're not a Muslim.
You cannot say that someone who is gay or who is transgender is not a Muslim.
Not a Muslim.
You're not allowed to do that. That is forbidden in Islam. But what you can do is you tell a person, hey, this is not allowed in Islam, and that person says, yes, this is allowed. Then you may be in a position to call that person a non-Muslim or a kafir. So if a person denies a Quranic rule, a Quranic
according
law,
to what you're saying, according to some scholars, but not really according to any hadith or any Quranic verse.
I would lie if I told you that it's according to this or according to that, but I'm pretty sure that is the classical Islamic position.
It is a classical Islamic position that some people have the excuse of challenging because there's no direct hadith that says that.
Could be. Yeah.
See, this is what I like. By the way, this one thing I really appreciate. I know you might not like hearing this, but your videos are better than other people to go after Islam because you understand the differences between the sources, right? Like, again, like if you look at David Wood, right? He treats he's like, oh, this is what all Muslims believe in, and then he goes and finds this book that there was this one scholar that said something about something questionable, and we're like, oh yeah, of course they would do this. This is what Muslims believe in. And I was like, that's not even that's not mainstream. That's not even Sahih Hadith. That's not even a Quranic verse. And then he's treating it like it's like mainstream Islam because just one scholar said something somewhere, right? But I think like when you show like what is Islamic, you like bring Quranic verses or you bring Hadith Bukhari or Hadith Muslim, and you know the differences between the different sources. So it's kind of, I think it's a little bit more.
I try to be fair. I cannot. I'm not. I wouldn't like to sit here and criticize David Wood now because David Wood is a high class Christian apologist, and since I am funded by the Christians, it would be inappropriate for me to oppose David Wood and to criticize my Christian masters. No, just kidding.
Don't bite the hand that feeds you, okay?
No, just kidding. I try my best to be. I try my best to be fair about my criticism of Islam. I might have done mistakes in that too, here and there. But I think one of my observations was that many people who defend Islam or many people who criticize Islam do it unfairly. And I will try my best to be as fair as possible when I criticize Islam, because it is already as terrible as it is already horrible. It is horrible. You don't have to be unfair in criticizing it. If you just tell it as it is already pretty horrible. Yeah. But to David Wood, I would say that I think David Wood is one of the fairest critics of Islam out there, although clearly there are differences between the way he does it and I do it. Yeah.
Right. No, I mean, I disagree with him a lot, but that doesn't mean I don't appreciate his activism. I definitely disagree with him on his Christianity for sure. I also think it's easier for atheists to go after. I know Islam is a lot worse than Christianity, but I think it's easier for atheists to go after Islam because it's really difficult for Muslims to come look at what we're like, oh, how you can say this, but you yourself, and then there's like nothing.
Yeah.
Like